wanna grow up, find a Toys R Us kid. They got a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with.
The chain announced it was going out of business in March with some 700 stores shutting down.
The shutters are down. A retail era has ended.
What's up, guys? It's Jason here, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Fun Insight. Wow, that jingle brings back a lot of childhood memories playing in my mind over and over again. Remember those days you had to beg your parents to go to Toys R Us? Well, the year is now 2021 and going into 2022. A lot has happened since our favorite toy store from the past, Toys R Us, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy back in 2017. Has anyone heard of Amazon.com? Can you believe that it's been nearly 5 years? Seems like an eternity, and a lot has happened since then. In this video, I'll run through a quick summary of what happened to Toys R Us, the bankruptcy, and give you the current update on what's been going on in 2021 and 2022. By the end, you'll know when you can head over to the next Toys R Us store opening and what to expect from the new experience concept. But before we begin, if you wouldn't mind just tapping that like button for the YouTube algorithm, I'd really appreciate it. This video is quite unique because it's a collaboration with Michael over at Money Lemma. So if you enjoy it or would like to see more, let us know. We would love to hear your input. If you've ever been to Toys R Us, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for new videos each week. Thanks for doing that, and now let's continue on with the rise and fall of Toys R Us. History of Toys R Us. Toys R Us started in June 1957 in good old Washington, D.C. As a quick summary, Toys R Us was having business fun by selling fun. Toys R Us was very much a part of the lives of American kids growing up in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. An American staple like baseball, apple pie, and hot dogs. When it filed for bankruptcy in the early 2000s, it felt like an old dinosaur had finally fallen. If you grew up in the 80s or 90s, this story may feel familiar. The 80s and 90s were the peak of what's called the retail category killer. This was a class of megastores that specialized in a narrow segment of the market. Home Depot, Best Buy, Borders Books, Barnes & Noble, and Bed Bath & Beyond are all examples. By specializing, these superstores offered a breadth of offering and a price advantage. Before the internet was popular, product search was a major problem. If you wanted an uncommon drill bit or an obscure book on birdwatching, where would you get it? You could drive around to all the local stores and hope a seller happened to have one in stock, or you could go to a category killer and be certain to find it. Because of the convenient offering, category killers tended to penetrate their target market deeply. A corner market might be the destination for a neighborhood, but a superstore can be a destination for entire towns or even regions, especially in less populated areas with fewer shopping options. Because superstores attracted larger populations, they were able to get scale on each item they sold. That meant lower prices for consumers. Low prices and convenience made category killers, well, category killers. All across America, retail market share consolidated. The big kept getting bigger, and Toys R Us was no exception. In 1983, it had 13% market share. That means more than 1 in every 10 toys sold in America was sold by Toys R Us. Considering how many different stores sell kids' toys, that's pretty impressive. Smaller chains and independent toy stores around the country just couldn't compete with the lower prices and wider offering of Toys R Us. Toys R Us had quite a run, but nothing lasts forever. Sales increased, however, so did the competition. 2 new types of businesses disrupted Toys R Us and ended its reign. First, of course, was the internet. Toys R Us stores had quite a breadth of offering, but they just can't compete with a company like Amazon that can house infinite items on their website. Just as Toys R Us disrupted traditional neighborhood retailers by aggregating the sales of a community, internet retailers disrupted Toys R Us by aggregating the sales of a nation in one online store. At the same time, discount retailers emerged to undercut the price advantage of Toys R Us. The most famous of these businesses is Walmart, which remains the largest toy store in America today. Toys R Us bought toys in large volumes and could sell at prices below many competitors, but Walmart beat them at their own game. As Toys R Us tried to compete with all these new businesses, they found themselves deeper in debt and, frankly, unable to compete. That's how one of the brands that connected deepest with 80s and 90s kids folded. This added competition, along with taking on too much debt, which became a financial albatross. The accounting ledger and financial pages of the company were opened and significant financial anomalies were noted. Specifically in 2005, where Toys R Us suddenly took on extensive debt via a leveraged buyout in the amount of $5 billion. Ultimately, under the weight of their financial indebtedness, $400 million in interest payments alone, and a number of other factors that were explored, it seems that they all combined, which led to their demise. Toys R Us became Toys No More. A moment of silence, please. Well, to that viewer who can now probably read, I excitedly proclaim that your giraffe is back in 2021. Repaired Toy Store. As the calendar days, months, and years continued to be turned, the once iconic toy store re-emerged from Chapter 11 bankruptcy after going back to the toy repair shop. 2019, Toys R Us became shiny and new and was purchased by True Kids Inc., a company set up by the debt holders of Toys R Us to own the intellectual property of the brand. Additionally, WHP Global, a company that invests in the purchasing of identifiable brands, purchased significant shares in True Kids. FYI, WHP Global was in the bidding for Reebok earlier this year and just bought Lotto Sports Italia, an Italian sports brand which has also gone through tough times. The financial terms of both purchases for Toys R Us were undisclosed. Under the agreement, True Kids would take over the Toys R Us brand and subsequently would own all of the associated brands, including Babies R Us and Jeffrey the Giraffe. So this toy story is evolving under the leadership of True Kids. The focus for the new owners has been on redesigning this huge toy box with the look and feel of the modern-day customer in mind. Their vision was that a family's exciting adventure of playtime will include exploring the toy shop and enjoying specifically highlighted toy brands located in the stores. It's like a toy store within a toy store, a wonderful experience of many different toy varieties that may bring in customers and keep them returning. Toys R Us reopened. Well, as the saying goes, you can't keep a good giraffe down. And so, Toys R Us announced in mid-2019 that it would take up business residence in certain malls in larger markets during the holiday season. Like a Nerf Target game, 2 malls were targeted, one in Paramus, New Jersey, and one in Houston, Texas. In addition to actually having the latest fun and entertaining toys at their playground locations, they also incorporated a number of To Infinity and Beyond high-tech upgrades. As part of their marketing strategy, a number of sensors were embedded into the ceiling. These sensors monitored shopping traffic, capturing shopping patterns of the customers and even recording the shoppers' steps and delays in certain parts of the store, all designed to provide real-time marketing feedback on how the customers were reacting to the various toy displays. Creepy or commercial genius? You decide. And let us know in the comments. Strengthening the re-establishment of Toys R Us were newly established partners such as Macy's department store and other well-known brands like Lego. Like a game of Monopoly, real estate would be provided to these partners as they would be offered the opportunity to establish and display their own iconic brands within the Toys R Us location. What was so exciting about the new Toys R Us stores is that they were redesigned to compete in the modern age. An emphasis was placed on experience, something that internet companies and discount retailers could never compete with. The new Toys R Us stores provided a complete fun experience with the construction of an in-store treehouse with door chime, a nook for reading and a cinema, and of course, what is a Toys R Us major event without the toy ambassador? You guys may be happy to know that Jeffrey the Giraffe was in attendance, but unable to cut the ribbon because his hoofs had been recently polished. Just kidding, we know that Jeffrey would have bit right through the ribbon, but his neck is too long. This was probably something Toys R Us should have done years ago. The most successful category killers like Best Buy and Home Depot responded to internet competition by transitioning their business model to look a lot like the new Toys R Us. Physical stores were for things you couldn't get online, in-person, or in giraffe, advice, opportunities to play with toys or try out new products, and playground, or for Best Buy's customers, the corners of the store where you can play video games. But Best Buy and Home Depot today are much more than physical stores. They're also the 5th and 7th largest e-commerce companies in the US. Toys R Us closed again. Despite Jeffrey's best efforts, the 2 experimental stores, rather than reflecting his strong and long neck, fell short in the goals set. It seemed that timing is truly everything, and with the efforts of trying to re-establish a presence in the marketplace, there was that thing called COVID. Ever heard of it? The resulting restrictions limited foot traffic in the malls and limited the movement of potential customers. Because of the resulting poor sales, the Toys R Us stores were shut down a year after opening, but the company decided to relaunch their website in partnership with Amazon. Toys R Us 2021 update, future reopening. There is good news, however. Although the Toys R Us battleship took a hit, it wasn't sunk. Get it? You sunk my battleship game? Anyone? There has been a toy silver lining revealed as the result of the COVID pandemic. A marketing research company is reporting that toy sales have increased by 16% over the last year. This revenue of $25 billion was the frantic attempt of parents to occupy their darling kids during the recent restrictions. And so, Toys R Us is not taking their toys and going home, but is planning to re-engage the all-important family unit through brick-and-mortar stores. The current plan is to have Toys R Us locations in full operation for the year-end 2021 holiday season. The new Toys R Us in 2021 and 2022 business model. Again, the idea is to rejuvenate a brand that is national pastime for many of today's parents. Part of the plan is also to have satellite or pop-up stores at a variety of convenient locations for the shopper. Some of these locations may include a kiosk within a store or a presence in a variety of airports. The Toys R Us management has clearly said that they will not concentrate solely on mall locations and that the focus will be where people are or are trending to be. In August 2021, Toys R Us announced a huge partnership that they would be opening in more than 400 Macy's department stores starting in 2022. As said by Macy's CMO, "As a Toys R Us kid, I could not be more excited to bring this beloved brand that so many of our customers know and love into Macy's online and to our stores across America." Our toy business grew exponentially in the past year, with many families looking to inspire their children's imagination and create meaningful moments together. So basically, rather than the stores displaying shelves and shelves of toys, the plan is for smaller stores with a bigger and more personalized customer service experience. The idea is quality over quantity. The design of the new stores will be smaller but more appealing, the company says. The vision is the selling of fewer toys within the stores over the retail sales of in-store purchases in prior decades, but providing more interactive experiences. The business model for the toy store will purposely stock fewer toys in-house. It is anticipated that the average store will carry about 1,500 items. Also, the business concept is to allow an interactive and fun toy shopping experience. The hope is to engage the shopper and their family and keep them coming back. The hands-on experience afforded to the families will heavily rely on in-store technology, which will allow for the parents to buy from a large stock of toys online. If the playtime is enjoyable, the customer can purchase the toy through in-house technology that ushers the customer into a toy wonderland consisting of over 15,000 items. Of course, the basics of successfully operating a business are still in play. Those basics include attentive customer service, developing and adhering to a strategic business strategy. Unlike the 1950s when Toys R Us first launched, competition from Amazon, Target, and Walmart means Toys R Us will need to rebuild with more than just a set of Legos. They need to offer something different, something that leading retailers can't. Finally, the family that plays together laughs together. The planned reimagining of Toys R Us is counting on families playing in their stores as an outing that is looked forward to when school is in recess or on a weekend. We all know that as human beings we have a shopping gene as part of our DNA, and so this may prove to be a winning strategy. Conclusion. And that brings us to today. Perhaps more critically, the successful future of Toys R Us can help bring back Jeffrey the Giraffe to a new generation of kids. It seems now the giraffe is returning and sticking his neck out once again. He is bringing his big Toys R Us toy box, perhaps to a local store or kiosk near you. Perhaps if we're lucky, the haunting jingle will also return. So with that said, thank you so much for watching my video. There was a significant amount of research, production, and toy shopping that went into making this video possible. As mentioned before, today's video is a collaboration with Michael over at Money Lemma. Make sure you go subscribe. Let us know what you think of the video or if you would like to see another one like it. If you haven't seen already, check out my video on the Rise and Fall of Rainforest Cafe or the Rise and Fall of Discovery Zone. Those are my personal favorites on my channel. I highly recommend both. As always, stay happy and healthy and stay tuned for another episode of Company Insight next week.